All right, welcoming back Travis Branham. Now, Trav, it was just a week ago. I was in Chicago at the NBA Draft Combine. Boogie Fland pulled out, and all the buzz at that point was immediately about Florida emerging as the early favorite. He's, of course, represented by Lyft, where Mike Miller is the lead agent. Mike Miller, a Gator alum there. That was what the connective tissue that people went to. But I don't think that's the only reason he's going to Florida. That commitment has now happened earlier today. Tell us how that one went down.
Yeah, he was Boogie Fland went through the NBA draft process, was focused on it by all accounts, and then once he got that feedback back, of course he withdrew, and Florida immediately came out as the heavy favorite. Now other schools like Kansas and NC State and a few others all try to get involved. However, none were able to gain traction. It was Florida through and through from the jump, and all that was left was essentially just to get him on for an official visit and make sure that everything was smooth and tie it up at the end of the day. And so he started that visit on Monday, and as of Tuesday, he has officially become a Florida Gator.
And a terrific addition for Florida as they potentially are in a spot to return maybe the best front court in college basketball. Now have two impact transfers in the backcourt, putting themselves in position to contend for another national championship under head coach Todd Golden. Trav, want to ask you about Boogie's game because I think unless you watched him at the beginning of the season before that hand injury, people don't necessarily have a great appreciation. You and I have talked on this show about how he exceeded our expectations with his burst and his athleticism early on. I personally was not expecting that. I was also not expecting him to be as effective as the primary point guard and decision maker last year at Arkansas, a role that he very rarely played in high school or AAU, quite frankly. But what exactly is Florida getting here, in your opinion?
Yeah, they're getting a dynamic guard who can play both on and off the ball. Something that's always stood out about Boogie is his ability to make shots from three and with range. He's got wiggle, can create his own space, and again, make shots with range. But again, he's matured as an on-ball decision maker, and that's something that he started to really come into his own as a senior. I'll never forget seeing him really take charge at USA Basketball that October going into his senior season, and where that playmaking, that decision making, and facilitating really shined through. And so he's really pieced it all together. So playing alongside a guy like Xavier Lee, who's another dynamic shooter on the perimeter and in the backcourt for Florida next year, where they got out of the transfer portal from Princeton. These are two guys that can play both on and off the ball, and I think they're going to complement each other very well moving forward. And so Todd Golden has absolutely reloaded this backcourt. There's never any replacing a guy like Walter Clayton, but with Thomas Haug and Ruben Chinyelu coming back, and if Alex Condon comes back, that is a heck of a starting five and a team that can make another run at this national title.
All right, now one of the other things we reported last week in Chicago at the draft combine was that Cedric Coward from Washington State, who had previously committed to Duke as a grad transfer, appeared to be trending towards staying in the NBA draft. Not gotten a announcement of that just yet, but it seems to be inevitable. And Duke is already moving on to try and fill that void in their lineup. What do we know about who they are targeting on the wing?
Yeah, they have one player in their sights, and that is Dame Sarr, a five-star international recruit out of Italy. He stands 6'7". He's long, he's athletic, and he impacts the game on both ends of the floor. He's been playing with FC Barcelona over the past season, and obviously that is a EuroLeague team, one of the top programs in all of Europe, and so he's been playing limited there. But he's shown with the Italy national team just how talented he is and what he can bring to the floor. A guy that can score from all three levels. He's an effective shooter off the catch from three. Shows a lot of upside and potential as a playmaker out of ball screens, and a guy who can, again, score from all three levels. And with that size and length, he can be a tremendous defender, a guy that projects as a future first-round NBA draft pick. And if Duke lands him, which as of right now, I do expect that Duke will be getting him. They are the leader in the clubhouse. He is currently on campus at Duke. So if they get him, that's another very big and very long Duke lineup, just like we saw this past season.
Now, Trav, let me ask you how this came to be, because as we said, things have changed quickly here. A couple weeks ago, we expected Coward to step right in and play next to Boozer and Isaiah Evans, who's now coming back to Duke. But if that were the case, Sarr would probably be at another blue blood. Is that fair to say?
That is 100% fair to say. I mean, as of last week, this thing seemed to be all but wrapped up for Kansas. He had taken a visit to Kansas, and according to our sources, it sounds like he had even verbally committed, and all that was left was making the official announcement. However, Duke came in, made a strong push, and was able to flip this recruitment on its head. And now here we are just days later. He's on campus in Durham, and now Duke is the leader in the clubhouse, and all they have to do is finish this to tie this one up.
Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Sebastian Wilkins from Brewster Academy and the Mass Rivals will make his announcement right here on the 24/7 Sports channel as well. He is down to 2 finalists in Maryland and Duke. This is a 6'8" forward who I've had the pleasure of watching since he was a youngster. Came up the ranks as kind of a ball handling forward, but we've seen the versatility in his game really grow in the last year or two. It's been the shot making in particular that he's added to his game. I promise you, he did not have these threes off the dribble in his bag when he was an underclassman. Simultaneously, he's really embraced the defensive end of the floor. He's proven to be a versatile defender, someone who can be a plug and play guy, and it's certainly a two-way player. And I would add, if he does reclassify, he would be young for his grade, currently ranked number 31 in the national class of 2026, but we should not expect him to be anywhere near his ceiling just yet. His best basketball clearly still in front of him, and this is a player who is improved by leaps and bounds. He will be deciding between Duke and Maryland. Will it be 25? Will it be 26? On Friday at 4 p.m., we will find out.